He's gonna be super pumped to meet you. So this is usually the room we get all bundled up in before we go into the lab.
I'm Kyle.
Hey.
How you doing, man? Nice
What's
to meet
up, brother?
What's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
Good, good.
Good to
Beautiful
see you.
place.
Oh, thank you.
Really cool, man.
You see this, the production, you know, what it takes, this establishment itself. It's a hell of an operation.
It's crazy.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We are in Boca, I believe, at Elevation. It's dope. First time here. I got the Panda Man, I got Ike with us. We're about to do the upper body pump. This sets the tone for the day.
Kyle, the second you touch, the second you go up.
Okay.
They're motherfuckers. We have 3 people, man. We'll feel good about ourselves when we leave.
Yeah.
This sets the tone though, before we head to Miami, get to formulation of the new collaboration between the Panda Man and BK. Man, it's gonna be a long, fun day, but this sets the motherfucking tone, I'll tell you that right now.
My name is Kyle Newell, also known as the Panda Man. Grew up with 3 brothers, all born between 1980 and 1985. So we had a very competitive sports upbringing, so it was always, rough and tumble. So at a young age, I was always practicing sports. I was out there putting my own work in. And I got into lifting at 16 years old. I'm talking about reading books and everything on it and really applying the science. I went to college for fitness management. Fitness has always been like my career. And I've always looked at it as the gym is my greatest teacher, and fitness is really the doorway, the gateway into people's minds. That's where you can really make the transformation. Good pump, good sweat. Good to be coached by the man BK. So you're getting a good workout. Always good to have solid guys to work out with to push you.
Look at what the color turned into.
Yeah, the blue.
I'm Brandon Kelly. A lot of people know me as BK. I'm in the fitness industry. I'm a father, I'm a leader, and I'm still having fun. I was a collegiate athlete, 2 sports. I was wrestling and rugby, transitioned into the fitness world, started training some combative athletes, and then I started dipping into that combative world as well. Transitioned into a prize fighter, and some of that really enjoyed learning about the body and how to make the body not only bigger, stronger, but faster and more mobile. I first met Kyle. He was a keynote speaker at a mastermind I was part of.
So if you're not familiar with the mastermind, it's when 2 or more people come together, you get ideas from each other, you solve problems. So in this particular mastermind group that we were both a part of, there was probably 100 guys within the group, and we'd have this annual summer meeting where everybody would get together. There'd be presentations and all that. So BK was sitting in the back. I'd never met him before. And then I just happened to be on the docket to give a presentation on mind mapping.
And he comes on stage and he started talking about the brain and how your thoughts kind of control your habits, and your habits dictate your future, and that you have complete control over the way your brain thinks, and that there's science behind habits. So right away I was like super intrigued, like, whoa, like maybe I'm not fucked. Maybe the way I think I can adjust it, because I don't think people know, at least back then, they really didn't know that there's a way to create a mindset. Right afterwards, I'm like, brother, man, I need to learn more about this.
From that point forward, so that's probably 2014, like I said, 2013, 14, he started reaching out to me with questions on mind mapping.
I was going to say in 2014, 15, how deep were both of you guys into the fasting?
He was a lot more deeper than
Okay.
me. I never even would ever attempt to do that at that time. That was, I needed my oatmeal and my blueberries and my honey every morning.
You know, I needed to eat 3-4 times a day with plus snacks, good stuff, decent, you know, for the most part. I was a former athlete, you know, I needed to be big and strong. So I thought, you know, and just think I went to college for it. You know, I knew a lot of this stuff, nothing about fasting. You know, when I met him, he was dabbling into it, and I was always like, it was complex to me in my mind on how it worked, these time blocks and shit like that. And who would ever figure out like when to eat and not to eat? You know, like that's how do you even, where do you even start?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, that's, you know, now here I am now, you know, changed my life completely, saved my life.
Right.
Yeah.
So where does Panda Man come from?
Kyle is just a genuine dude, man. When my daughter had extreme case of infantile scoliosis, and to the point where her spleen started to shift. So not only did it curve, but it started to rotate. We knew we needed to hit surgery and things like that. So I lived in New York City 3 or 4 weeks because of her last surgery. Her recovery was so extensive. I was still running a gym, still a leader of 12 different members of my team. You know, I came home and I got really sick, and I think it was because of the amount of stress that was on my mind, on my body, working as an entrepreneur. Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital, like no joke. I passed out on the way there, woke up with tubes and cords in me, like scary shit. I knew I needed to change, and I contacted Kyle, swear on everything. Okay, hey, give me a brain game, man. I've been doing all your stuff, and we've been friends for years at this point. I need your help. And that's when he told me to do a 48-hour fast. I swear, I was like, dude, you're trying to kill me.
2003, I was interning at Rutgers football strength and conditioning, and I had the seed kind of planted into my head that, hey, there's these natural bodybuilding shows. And that was the first time in my life where I really wanted to get like lean. Now, I'd always been into bodybuilding, read every magazine I could get my hands on, watching Pumping Iron all the time before I would lift with Arnold. So Arnold was really a huge influence on me, just seeing what he was able to build himself. So I decided to set a goal for 2004 that I was going to do my first competition. Did great, took second place out of 75 competitors. Fast forward to 2014. At that point, I had not competed in bodybuilding since 2008. I'd had a really horrific knee injury, and I said, all right, I'm going to put this behind me by getting ready for a bodybuilding show. I was about halfway through, about 8 weeks into a 16-week prep. I was reading about how we have stubborn fat. For men, it's typically your abs, love handles, low back. Women, it's the glutes and the thighs. The only way to increase blood flow, which is part of the reason its stubbornness has a very poor blood flow, is to fast. And you can also use the ohimbine hydrochloride, but fasting is the primary way. Right away, it clicked in my mind to start fasting the next day. Because the fasting, right, is just a self-development tool. You know, it's the initial thing for weight loss. You know, it's phenomenal for all the physiological stuff, but it's really just a self-development tool when you break it down once you really grasp it.
Yeah, you're starting to realize that we're just emotional beings.
Yeah.
Not just, but that's what we are, is emotional beings. And if we can control the emotions, we can control our thoughts. Working out is a great tool, but it's not the only tool. You got another 23 hours a day that you're not in a gym atmosphere, that you don't have your headphones on, or you know, your workout buddy with you.
Right away, though, I noticed a difference. It was much more manageable as far as the hunger. Energy was much better. I had more to look forward to. Didn't lose any size. And from that moment on, I knew that I was on to something. So that led me down the fasting path. 2014 to 2019, I was doing your 16 to 20-hour fast. 2019, doing a fat loss contest with the staff at the gym, started diving into the research of long-form fasting, so 24 and beyond, right? 48, 72s. And that whole first summer of the original Panda diet, I did a 72-hour fast every week just to learn, experiment. I was still tracking my food at that point just to see what would happen. But what I noticed was, because I love to eat, hey, I could keep bumping up my food intake and I'm still dropping body fat and I'm gaining muscle. But from that point forward, the past 5.5 years now, I've been eating 6 meals a week on average, slightly less because I do some longer fasts. It's become a passion of mine, and it starts with the physical, but the mental and the spiritual benefits you get from fasting is off the charts.
And he's like, do it, give me a call. Boom, I did it for energy, and now I do it for lifestyle, you know. And hundreds, if not thousands of people now have allowed me to lead them in the fasting realm, which has helped them get rid of a lot of like the inflammation, not only in their body, but in their brain, you know. And that's what I needed it for. I needed to get my spark back. So the original juice has been around for a decade. There's a core 4 minerals that we call, it's sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And those 4 compounds themselves make up what we know as electrolytes.
With the juice, right, that's part of the Panda diet, you know, it doesn't really taste that good if you're just making it with the salts. So he went down the rabbit hole of how does he make this into something that tastes good.
And what we did is we provided a supplement for people to make their fasting experience that much better. It tastes good. It's got all natural flavoring in it, and then it's got the most earth-derived minerals there are. We make sure that everybody that's fasting, especially for longevity, gets their electrolytes in them. At the beginning, people were trying to take advantage of me all the time. They would tell me when a product was going to be launched. They would pull back on that date. They would delay the date. They would not call me back. They had a lot of ghosting, a lot of broken promises, but they don't happen to you, they happen for you, and that's perspective, and I'm not just saying that. That is the road you need to take, the route you need to take for anything. I just didn't have a good in, right? I went through multiple manufacturers before we nailed down the Don, the world's largest manufacturer. It took a lot of convincing because they don't mess with smaller people like myself and Kyle, but they saw that there was opportunity and there was a lot of potential. We had a good name in the industry. We knew a lot of good people, so they introduced us to the top guys, the owners themselves, and they said, you know what, let's take a run with it. We'll see what we can do. And almost a full fiscal year later, we'll have 9,000 units produced. So now we're really friendly with each other. Why do you want to be part of this process? Seeing like behind the scenes, like what is this? Why does this intrigue you?
Then you feel like just that more sense of connection with it. You know, you see the possibilities, potential. Yeah, it's different. It's just seeing something on a shelf, just seeing, okay, how is it made? You know, bringing it to creation. Obviously a big fan of the juice and the energy kind of combined with the juice. I'm excited about that.
What was the feedback you wanted?
The feedback that
You were saying put more mango. You were going to say mango.
I've always ran kind of things my way. It just makes it a lot easier no matter how much people want to invest in the company and the product itself. It's a lot easier for me to navigate. But the collaboration with Kyle, it was a necessity. I've known him for so long and known his dreams and aspirations and his problems and his strengths and his weaknesses and all that stuff. You know, he's genuine, he's very responsible, he's trustworthy, true definition of a friend. You know, and in my books, he's family. And in my family's books, he's family. You know, so I want to introduce him to the realm that I'm in, the supplement realm, and show him the benefits and what it can do.
Me and my brothers had created like a Newell Strength line of supplements. There was a pill form of the juice. We did like vitamin D, and there was no hands-on with it. Like we were able to design the label, but that was it. And then we were selling it through the newspapers and whatnot. And I had a prototype of like a Panda Punch that I was making with another guy.
He wanted a pre-workout that actually worked. He wanted a pre-workout that was actually from start to finish, that he had input in what goes in it. I just took the reins on it.
He said, oh, what is that? I told him. He goes, all right, give me a crack at making that. He said, I already got all these connections in the supplement space industry. I've done all the work. Let me get a crack at making this Panda Punch.
For me, it's giving back. Instead of having him go through all the trials and tribulations that I once had to go through, I think it's a perfect opportunity for everybody to be able to experience something that nobody else will have on this market.
I said, okay, here's the stuff I would like to see within it, based on stuff I'd taken in the past, based on what I know works and doesn't work. And from that, the Panda Punch was born. This production, it was a lot more hands-on.
Analytical level.
Everything's got to come here.
Yeah. All the raw materials to finished products, everything comes here.
Wow.
There comes a time in your life, you gotta start thinking big. You can't be thinking so small. So I wanted him to see this big production. From the raw materials to the tubs and the packaging that goes in, from start to finish, it's a really cool operation. For myself, that was probably my 10th time there.
We actually got to go down to Miami to tour the facility to see how it's actually made, see it come off the conveyor belt, which was really cool. And they have people there manually too checking everything. If the top doesn't go on right, okay, boom, garbage. And then they have like third-party verified testing, so they have people that just do that.
My favorite part of this journey is learning. learning what's in these compounds, where they're sourcing these compounds, because not all sodium's the same, not all calcium's the same, magnesium, so on and so forth.
And there's literally hundreds of people in that lab, in that warehouse working. So it's kind of mind-boggling. I don't even know how many square feet, but it was humongous. Shelves that go up a couple stories. Getting to see the people that come up with the taste. So they would come in, here's this, taste this, give me a little feedback. All right, let's make it a little less sweet.
Remember, like every time that you solidify a new flavor, you have to taste test it yourself. So yeah, you're going back and forth and you're working with some really high level formulators.
So it's very scientific, very detailed, very measured. When you're not going to use the super artificial sweeteners, it gets harder to dial in a flavor.
More flavor or the flavors?
More flavor. Something I don't taste the orange.
I'm talking about stuff like sucralose and things that are known to have a bad effect on your health. Those things are super sweet, and you could really get specific on the taste, but that doesn't go in line with our vision of health first, really putting good products, stuff that's fasting friendly into the body. So we did the research, really dove into stevia and monk fruit extract, tested it on blood sugar levels after drinking, still stay in that fasted state.
It tastes good. It tastes good, but it's more about how it makes you feel. It's about that experience, you know?
One of the things that helps people get through their longer fast is some type of stimulant or appetite suppressant, which caffeine and the other compounds that we have in here do.
But there's also velvet root in it, beetroot in it, and ashwagandha. And these compounds together allow the caffeine not to send you through the roof. It actually pulls you back down and makes this focused formula. And I just said it out loud. This is kind of a patent formula. Most pre-workouts have this, especially high stim, they bring you up and then they crash you just as hard as you came up, and it's not like that. It's a really beautiful thing where you kind of come down and you plateau into your normal levels.
In addition to your electrolytes, there's nothing like that. If you look at other pre-workouts, they don't have electrolytes in there. And fasting alone is going to increase your energy. So now you put this little boost in there, this little performance boost supplement within that, your energy is going to be off the charts when you're in your longer fast. In addition to that, we've got yohimbine in here. So the first two things that I've ever read about increasing blood flow to the stubborn fat areas was fasting and yohimbine. So we have the fasting, and now we have yohimbine in this, which is a killer combo. It's going to allow people to go well past what they thought was possible with their fasting as far as length. And then you have the taste of it. It feels like you're putting something in, but it's calorie free. It's got top level compounds and nutrients within it. It's got your electrolytes in it, which is a huge part of what we do with the long-term fasting with the Panda diet, making sure you're getting your sodium, your magnesium, caffeine. We have tyrosine. That was a big one for me to get in there, a great neurotransmitter, your calcium, these types of things in there, your electrolytes. So it fits hand in hand perfectly with the Panda diet. But when I was competing in bodybuilding, obviously I got into a lot of the stimulants. There was the Ultimate Orange, which some people might remember, which was loaded with like ephedra. So for me to actually feel a stimulant or a focus supplement, I usually don't feel this stuff at all, but this I can actually feel, and it dials me in. So that's why I'm real excited about it.
You can see it in his eyes and the smile on his face, like, yeah, this is the realm I want to be in. The people that formulated this are brilliant. That's all I got to say. They're brilliant people. And this is the formulation that they wanted to use if they ever were going to formulate their own pre-workout. That's how cool it is.
It's not only with what's in it and what it makes you feel, but just when you see this label, it's beautiful. You see the bottom, there's nothing else like this that's ever existed. They're going to feel the benefit, but they're also going to want to be behind two guys that kind of started from nothing, that have created this thing that we really feel is going to have a huge impact in the fitness space that we're proud of and that works. That's the main thing, right? People have always tried to get me to push stuff. I'm like, if I don't believe in this, why would I try to sell it, right? And that's unfortunately what most people do. Oh, I can make money on this, let me push it. This is something I actually use and something that I believe in.
We feed it to our family, we feed it to ourselves, we feed it to our members and our tribe. We don't want to cut corners here. It's not a money grab for us.
So the long-term vision is let's get this into the hands of at least 1 million people. Let them decide for themselves, because what's going to happen is that one person that takes it is going to have a positive impact on people in their life when they're taking it. I really believe that, because you're going to feel better, right? This is why people unfortunately turn to stuff like alcohol and drugs. This is on the positive side of that.
I wish I can tell you what the future looks like, but we don't know. You know, all I know is that we're going to continue to scale. We're going to continue to do R&D. We're going to continue to ask our clients what they like, what they don't like, and keep on evolving the juice and the Undisputed Lab brand.
I have those fond memories, like I said, from when I was a teenager first in the gym. I still remember the label of Ultimate Orange and what it looked like. It just brings back memories, and I want this to have the same feel. When people hold it and they see the gold on it and the blue and the panda and the dragon, it really aligns with what I do as the Panda Man, the vision of Newell Strand, how we started with brick and mortar. And now we have such an ability to reach people in a positive way that I think this is going to be a huge part of that path and that process as far as making people feel better about themselves, building their confidence, and building their energy, which is your number one asset, AKA the Mecca of life.